What's the tea?
Well, spill it. Here I go.
If there's anything that women should learn from that Ballerina Farms article that came out, is that men are not stupid. I've said this once in a video before, and I'm gonna say it again. Men are not stupid. They're not stupid because they know your potential before you do. And they will go out of their way. They will pull strings, the same strings that her husband pulled on that JetBlue flight so that he could sit down next to her. And mind you, she rejected him before. He had a whole strategy laid out because one, he's the heir of JetBlue, so he's got resources, he knows people, he knows what strings he can pull, he has the power, right? So he pulled strings over at JetBlue to make sure that he sits next to her on that flight to wherever she was going. Tell me that is not manipulation. He knew that she was gonna get into that ballerina school, the most prestigious school to get into if you are a woman who wants to become a ballerina. He knew that, and he had the intention to say, nope, you're not doing that. Instead, you're gonna dedicate your goals, those aspirations, and those dreams into me. You're gonna center me. Everything that woman does, from taking care of the kids, from cooking from scratch, from having that one epidural out of, what, 8 kids? You see how rooted in male-centeredness that is? This is why I make the content that I make, talking to women about how important it is to center themselves and to always put their goals, dreams, aspirations before any man, because one thing men are not gonna do is center you. They're always gonna put themselves first. And you are seeing that right now with that Ballerina Farms lady. She's getting absolutely no benefits from being a mother and being a wife. Everything she has to do, she has no help, she has no support. When she goes grocery shopping, she has to bring all 8 kids with her. She has to cook food from scratch. She had 1 epidural. And if she has one request, like, I don't know, going to Greece for a vacation because she sure as fuck deserves it, instead she gets an egg apron to remind her of the fact that you are a wife and you are a mother, and your job and your purpose is to serve me as a man. Ain't no damn way that man's centering her. Men will always put themselves first. So why don't women start doing that for themselves? When you remove yourself from male-centeredness, when you are a woman who makes a choice to pour into herself, whether it's attacking goals, setting up dreams, and having those aspirations and being able to bring those aspirations, dreams, and goals to life at the same time, that strengthens your discernment. It strengthens your intuition. So in that way, you are able to decipher as to whether or not the man that you are talking to is manipulating you or not. Men are quiet about this, but they know. They know that your potential is greater than theirs and that you have the power and capability to go far in life. And so what they do is they will implement these strategic tactics to get you to believe that you belong here while he's up here. Men have tried this with me. What I love the most is that I get to be underestimated. And when I call them on this, when I check them on their manipulation tactics, I never hear from them again, which lets me know that their intentions were not good and that they wanted to bring me down here. Newsflash, that will never fucking happen. So please, ladies, if you are seeing this, please take this Ballerina Farm story as a lesson to, one, not put yourself in positions and situations where you are being manipulated by a man. Number 2, detach yourself from male-centeredness, because like I said before, men will never center you. They're always going to put themselves first. And that's exactly what we're seeing with Ballerina Farms. And my heart goes out to that woman. I honestly, I don't even think that woman has a way out, as pessimistic as that sounds. In order to center yourself, you must decenter yourself from the things, ideologies, and people that you're not benefiting from.
Okay, so in light of the whole Ballerina farm, tickets to Greece, egg apron situation, how many of y'all think that the reason why he didn't give her the tickets to Greece like she wanted was because he probably was afraid that she would get on that plane and never come back? Now, I'm projecting when I say that. I'm projecting like a mofo when I say that, because if it were me, that's what I would have done. It would have either been get on a ticket to on a plane to Greece, write my kids a letter and tell them mommy loves you, but mommy had to do this, or mommy was going to unalive herself. Because if it were me, those are the two options, right? I'm projecting. What I think probably happened, and I'm making this up, so I don't know anything about these people's marriage, but just go with me, right? I think a conversation was had where she probably came to him and said, honey, I've been thinking about writing a book, or I've been thinking about going and traveling to blah, 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 or I've been thinking about getting back into dancing. And the egg apron was his message to her that, no, bitch, you're gonna fold socks and milk cows for the rest of your life. You are just a housewife and a mother, and that's all you're ever gonna be. Just my own personal opinion, because men love humbling women in ways like that, in those types of ways. Like, that was his way of saying, go gather eggs, literally. Unless she gets online and says, I always wanted an egg apron and he gave me exactly what I wanted for my birthday, I'm sorry, no woman asks for an egg apron. I just don't. You're just not gonna convince me of that. So sorry. But that's really what I think. That's just the way my mind is working. A conversation was had, and he needs to put her in her place and let her know her place is in the kitchen. Your place is barefoot and pregnant for the rest of your life. Now, she probably would have got on that plane away from all of that, chickens and whatever else they got going on the farm, realized the life that she gave up and threw away, and thought, I don't effing want to go back, especially if his family is the one that has money, from what I understand. I'm not sure. When men are rich like that and they have resources, women are trapped in many cases. Hopefully she has some kind of money stashed away that he don't know about. I doubt it. She's a Mormon. Mormon women a lot of times are very naive to life, naive to men, naive to the game. And many times they don't find out the hard way until after the man leaves them for a younger woman, once they hit their midlife crisis, or they start beating them, or something like that. Then once they're forced to realize what their lives have become, I think that's when they get it. But beforehand, they're so brainwashed, right? I read under a lot of different posts in the comments where plenty of women were like, she's probably conservative, women like her vote against women like us, I don't have any empathy for her, F that be, right? On one hand, I understand and somewhat agree that these women make their beds and they gotta lay in them. But on the other hand, the human in me, I feel like these women are brainwashed. You have to be brainwashed to give up your life and your goals for a man to knock you up 8 times. What woman wants 8 kids? Every time I come across women who has a bunch of kids, like literally basketball teams of kids, most of the time they say, well, he wanted 5 boys, or he wanted this, or he wanted a boy and we kept trying until we got one. Most women don't want to do that. They do this for men. She was a ballerina, from what I understand, and a pageant winner and stuff. And I love ballerinas, by the way. I dabbled in I dabbled in that some years back, just for the strength and the flexibility and stuff of it. So I have a lot of respect for ballerinas. I can't imagine how hard it might be for her to get up and watch TV or hear something on the news about some ballerina that's like making world news or something, knowing that you threw your life away. For a man who hates you, by the way, you're not going to convince me this man doesn't hate her. Like, there's no way he likes her. And in case you guys don't know, there are more husbands that hate their wives and resent their wives than there are men that actually love their wives. Me personally, any man who would want to put his wife through pregnancy that many times don't love her. You are a baby machine. You are a baby factory to them. You are there to be of service. They're going to use you every which way from Sunday until you don't have anything else to give, and then they're going to leave you for a 19-year-old. That's typically what men do, right? So it's unfortunate, but that is what I think happened. Let me know what you guys think, because listen, this is a cautionary tale for women. Do not give up your dreams. Do not throw your life away. And there might be some mothers that might get mad at me for saying she threw her life away to raise kids. She's fulfilling a role of motherhood, something that you're never going to know, and blah, blah, blah. Listen, she threw her life away. I don't care what nobody says. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't even care what she says, because we know how much wives lie for their husbands and cover up for their husbands. They lie when they're getting their asses beaten. They lie when they're being cheated on. They lie when their husbands have outside babies by calling them break babies and stuff like that. We know women lie. So I wouldn't even believe nothing she said. I'm looking at her face. That woman is miserable. And she's trying to convince herself that she's happy and she's fulfilling God's purpose and all this other stuff. When we hear about their divorce in a few years, or her self-unaliving or whatever comes first, and that's sorry, but that's just how I feel, the truth will come out. It's just my own personal opinion. At least some parts of the truth, because rich people have a way of hiding things. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. Cautionary tale, ladies. Always have your own resources, and don't ever let a man make you have more kids than you're able to take care of on your own, in case that man leaves you, in case you have to leave him and flee for your life, or in case he unalives or whatever. So just be careful with that. And I'm out.